Welcome to Augmented You. My name is Jan, I'm your host, and on this channel, we equip you with all the information needed to thrive in the age of artificial intelligence. So if you're new to the channel, welcome, thanks for stopping by. We post videos every week, videos covering all the key topics, all the key happenings from the AI world, because at Augmented You, we believe that you should be mastering AI and not the other way around. So make sure to click the subscribe button, click the bell notification icon so that you get notified every time we post a new video. And if you're already a member of this community and have been following us for a while, thank you, we appreciate you. The topic of today's video, AI breakthroughs. The news, what has happened, the impact, why you should know about it, the action, how can you benefit from it? Let's jump right into it. News item number one, and this one shook not just the entire AI world, not just the stock markets, but the world as a whole, and it's DeepSeek R1 release. Open sourced reasoning model from China. Now, I'm sure you've heard about it. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about it. In today's video, I want to cover the news, why it matters, what's the impact of it, but we'll do a full separate video, DeepSeek deep dive video, where I'll cover exactly how the model works, why it is a breakthrough, and what the impact of it will be, how it will impact the entire AI world. But let's check out the official release notes from DeepSeek. So DeepSeek R1 release, performance on par with OpenAI's O1. So this is a reasoning model. So this is a new group of models which reason, which think about their answer before they show the response to you. So in, let's say, more traditional large language models, you ask a question, you immediately see a response. With reasoning models such as R1, such as O1 from OpenAI, they think about a problem. They break the problem down into sub-steps and then they piece together the final solution. And what this enables these models to do is solve more complex tasks, such as, for instance, complex math problems. And this has already been proven on several benchmarks. So this is the new group of models. And now we have an open source model in R1, which matches the state-of-the-art model, reasoning model from OpenAI. And again, it's fully openly available. So fully open source model, distill and commercialize freely. And this is big news. This is big leap forward for the open source community. We now have a highly performant open source reasoning model available. There's also a API for it available through the website user interface. And again, we'll explore this in depth in a separate DeepSeek deep dive video. Now, it rivals OpenAI's O1 model. So let's look at this across several different benchmarks. So it's not just a handpicked one benchmark saying by, let's say, the DeepSeek team, hey, we beat OpenAI's O1 model on this particular benchmark. This is a good selection of different benchmarks evaluating different things. So we have a couple of math benchmarks, AI ME 2024. On this one, DeepSeek R1 actually beats OpenAI's O1, OpenAI O1 here in gray, and then here in blue, DeepSeek R1. And in the second one, math, and again, DeepSeek R1 outperforms OpenAI's O1 model. We then have code forces. This is competitive programming benchmark. We see OpenAI O1 being the top model there. GPQA Diamond, this is general question and answering tasks. So this is across several different domains such as biology, such as chemistry. We see OpenAI O1's model is dominant here. And then we have MMLU, general language understanding, very closely matched. And then on the last one, SWE Bench. This one evaluates the ability of AI models to solve GitHub issues. And they're almost exactly matched. So again, this claim that they rival OpenAI's O1 is very well backed up with numbers, with evaluations. Now, they also release not just this one model, they also release distilled models. So distilled models, smaller versions of this model, not as capable, but more efficient. And here we have full evaluation of these distilled models. There's 6 of them, and they're, again, very good. And then compared to a smaller version of O1, O Mini, you can compare performance against those, against this model across different distilled versions of DeepSeek's R1. Again, open sourced, fully explained process of training them all, and we'll dive deeper into this in a separate video. Now, what I do want to talk about here is pricing. Not only it is open sourced, but perhaps even More as a breakthrough, it is much, much, much cheaper. They also claim that training the model was much cheaper, and I'll go into this in just a second, but also using the model is much, much, much cheaper compared to OpenAI's O1. And here's a full breakdown comparison in prices. Input API price when cash is available, input API price when cash is not available. Look at the comparisons. It is way cheaper. Not saying it's cheaper is an understatement. It is way, way, way cheaper. And then looking at the output price, we have $2 per 1 million output tokens compared to 60 for OpenAI's O1. So almost 30 times more expensive is the O1 model as compared to DeepSeek. So this is a huge, huge leap forward. And according to some news, this has Facebook's team gathering war rooms full of engineers to figure out how exactly the DeepSeek team successfully made this model so cheap. Now, the DeepSeek model, the DeepSeek R1 model, builds on top of the DeepSeek V3 model, which is their foundational model, not a reasoning model. And here we can look at the pricing exactly, or at the costs of training this model. So one unique thing about DeepSeek model is it was trained on H800 GPUs, which is a worse GPU in comparison to NVIDIA's most capable H100. And H100 GPUs are typically used by Western AI developer or AI model developer companies, such as OpenAI, for instance. But in China, only the H800 is available, and this was the one used to train this model. And the total cost of training was just over $5.5 million, which is, again, way, way, way cheaper compared to what OpenAI is spending on their models or what, let's say, Google is spending on their Gemini models. Now, take this with a grain of salt. This is price of training, let's say the final training run of this model. This doesn't account in any research done, any failed experiments, anything like that. This is purely the final training cost of this model. So if we look at all of that, the price would be way, way, way higher. But obviously, this was part of the news, way cheaper, way more efficient to train. And what does the R1 actually add? What does it change compared to the V3? It is a reasoning model. And how do they achieve this reasoning capabilities? Through reinforcement learning. And we'll dive deeper into reinforcement learning in a separate video, but essentially we are rewarding models' behavior, which is aligned with how we want it to behave, which is aligned with how, let's say, humans reason. This is when the model is rewarded, is reinforced, that behavior is reinforced, so it is repeated in the next iterations, in the next runs. And what they were experimenting with, or what they were researching, is can we elicit reasoning capabilities through this process? And the answer is yes. And this is something that they dive deeper in this paper, which is also, again, available to anyone. So this is, again, a huge leap forward by the DeepSeek team. And keep an eye out on the full DeepSeek deep dive video, which we'll publish in the next few days. News item number 2. This one is from OpenAI introducing Operator. A few weeks ago, Anthropic released or announced computer use coming to Claude. So it is Claude having the ability to use the computer. And the example they showed was Claude using information from a spreadsheet and filling out forms. Now, Operator is something similar from OpenAI, a research preview of an agent that can use its own browser to perform tasks for you. Now, let's look at an example. On the right, we see the browser, and in the prompt, in this case, find and book me the highest rated one-day tour of Rome on TripAdvisor. And then a response from the operator: I'll search for the highest rated tour of historic Rome on TripAdvisor. Once I find a suitable option, I'll provide you with the details. Let's begin. So essentially, you just describe the tasks, and then Operator, this agent, completes the tasks for you. And the tools it has available to it is browsing the web. So this is pretty powerful. Some more information: today we're releasing Operator, an agent that can go to the web to perform tasks for you using its own browser. It can look at a web page and interact with it by typing, clicking, and scrolling. It is currently a research preview, meaning it has limitations and will evolve based on user feedback. Operator is one of our first agents, which are AIs capable of doing work for you independently. You give it a task and it will execute it. So truly, 2025 will be the year of agents. And we have another news item today, which is on that topic. So how exactly does it work? Operator is powered by a new model called Computer Using Agent, CUA, combining GPT-4o's vision capabilities with advanced reasoning through reinforcement learning, This is what we saw with DeepSeek R1, reinforcement learning. CUA is trained to interact with graphical user interfaces, the buttons, menus, and text fields people see on a screen. So they interact with it very similarly as humans interact with it, using objects on the screen, clicking, ingesting that information and making decisions based on it. How to use it. To get started, simply describe the task you'd like done. An operator can handle the rest. Users can choose to take over control of the remote browser. At any point, an operator is trained to proactively ask the user to take over for tasks that require login, payment details, or when solving CAPTCHAs. So this is very interesting. This is an agent that can use computers from OpenAI. So they're kind of matching what Anthropic has with computer use on their side. News item number 3, announcing the Stargate project. This is also from OpenAI. So the Stargate project is a new company which intends to invest $500 billion over the next 4 years building new AI infrastructure for OpenAI in the United States. We will begin deploying $100 billion immediately. This infrastructure will secure American leadership in AI, create hundreds of thousands of American jobs, and generate massive economic benefit for the entire world. Well, this is very timely, with Chinese R1 matching the most capable American reasoning models. This project will not only support the reindustrialization of the United States, but also provide a strategic capability to protect the national security of America and its allies. The initial equity funders in Stargate are SoftBank, OpenAI, Oracle, MGX, and then ARM, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Oracle, and OpenAI are the key technology partners. So this is big, and why this is important, because this is something that will power the next generation of models and the next generation of agents, a humongous infrastructure which should enable us to increase or elevate the capabilities, AI capabilities that are currently available. So this is very exciting. Let's see when this project realizes or what the outcome of this project will be. Next one is Anthropic, introducing citations on the Anthropic API. And this is really just retrieval augmented generation RAG coming to Anthropic API. What this allows users to do is, with citations, users can now add source documents to the context window, and when querying the model, Claude automatically cites claims in its output that are inferred from those sources. So again, we are grounding Claude in the documents that we provide. Some use cases for this: document summarization, complex Q&A. So here, let's say Claude will provide detailed answers to user queries across a large corpus of documents like financial statements, with each response element traced back to the specific section of relevant text. Customer support is another big use case here. How does citations work? With it enabled, the API processes user-provided source documents, PDF documents, for instance, plain text files. By chunking them into sentences, these chunked sentences, along with user-provided context, are then passed to the model with the user's query. Alternatively, users can provide their own chunks for the source document. So again, this is RAG coming through Anthropic API, and this is going to make it easier for developers to build RAG applications directly from Anthropic's API. Last news item for today, and I want to cover this interview with Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, where he supposedly said SaaS is dead. Software as a service is dead. It's not really what he said. It's taken a little bit out of context, but he did address this architectural change coming to software in the next years, and this change is driven by AI agents. So he mentioned how, let's say, relational databases changed architectures, changed how businesses operate. Then came the web applications, then came software as a service, cloud applications, and now AI agents are driving this new transformation. And as an example to explain this, I want to go back to the operator. So this is something that OpenAI is working on, so an agent that can use the browser. Now, let's think about how the operator will change how humans use the browser. So what is happening now, the operator will act as that layer between the actual browser and between humans. So you will no longer book a flight yourself. You will have an agent, and you will tell it, please book a flight to New York for me. And then the agent will do the rest, and it will just prompt you, hey, I need your password, or hey, I need additional information from you to continue. So now the agent is automating some of those tasks for you. But then the next generation of applications, if we look at, let's say, the booking services, flight booking services, the browser is made to be used by humans. And now this agent can automate human actions, the actions that a human would otherwise perform. But the next generation of apps will already be adapted to be used by agents. They will already have something that can be called or looked at as an agent interface, an agent protocol. And this is something that Anthropic also released, their agent protocol. So the new generation of application, the new generation of software will be adapted to be used by agents. So that an agent will be able to perform tasks or to use the services that that particular piece of software is performing. So this is a new, again, paradigm shift. This is a major change to architectures. And this is something that Satya Nadella also predicts. So I think 2025 will be very exciting because I think we're going to start seeing first glimpses of that. Agentic frameworks and then agent adapted, agent tailored software solutions. As always, I want to discuss impact and action. How can you benefit from some of these news items covered today? First one is DeepSeek R1 model. What this one proves is open source models catching up to closed source models is only a question of when and not a question of if. So DeepSeek R1 model already proves that. It rivals the state-of-the-art closed source reasoning model from OpenAI. And DeepSeek R1 is fully openly available also for commercial use. What does this mean? For large language models in general, they will be a commodity. So there won't be just one model dominating everything. You will have these different models available to you for different use cases. You'll have larger models, more capable models. You'll have smaller models, more cost efficient. You'll have models specifically designed to handle vision tasks. And then you'll have, let's say, reasoning models for these higher level, more complex tasks. And again, it will just be about picking the one that is most appropriate for your specific use case. And this is also the direction in which AI platforms are already going. Second key news item for today is the Stargate project. So a huge AI infrastructure. And this is something that we're also seeing in the past months, past years. Chip makers are now designing chips specifically designed to handle AI training and AI inference. Now we have full data centers, full infrastructures, again, specifically designed to run artificial intelligence models. Why is this important? What was once a bottleneck is a bottleneck no more. So the lack of GPU power is what once blocked the development of more capable large language models, AI models. Again, this is not blocking it anymore. And this can, again, open new doors to more capable. This is what can power the next generation of AI models. And then the third one, and I think this one is the most critical one, I think this one concerns each and every one of us, and it's AI agents. AI agents that are capable of performing tasks autonomously or performing tasks with very little instructions, with only high-level instructions. Operator is a perfect example of it. It can, let's say, book a flight for you. Right? So again, it is in research preview, but this is where the future will be. You will no longer be booking flights yourself through the phone, through the application, or you will just give an instruction out to an agent, book a flight to New York for Thursday, for instance. Now, how you can imagine the future is you will have these personal assistants, AI agent assistants, which will be handling different tasks for you. So what is now critical? That you are able to use this technology, that you at a high level understand how this technology works, that you're able to interact with this technology and use it efficiently. It is at the same level as using a computer or phone is now. Imagine not being able to use a phone or a computer in today's world. You would not get very far. It will be very similar with AI agents. So again, having the understanding of how this technology works, at least at a high level, and then having the understanding of creating those agents that can help you in your day-to-day tasks, in your job. This is something that can be very critical. And this is something that if you start now, you can have a head start. You cannot, or you won't fall behind. And there's a lot of great resources available online, which teach you how this technology works and how you can efficiently interact with this technology and get the most out of this technology. This is it for today's show. If you enjoy such content, click the subscribe button, click the bell notification icon so that you get notified every time we post a new video. And we have massive updates coming in 2025. We have some new things which we are preparing for you. We will not just be exploring AI breakthroughs. We'll be bringing on experts who will be able to share insights and their thoughts on everything that's happening in the AI world. So make sure you stay tuned, keep an eye out on all new videos coming onto this channel. We have some new things coming out very, very shortly. This is it for now. Until next time.